So China is on a diplomatic blitz, and the West, of course, has to now sit up and take some serious notice. In recent months, Xi Jinping has met with world leaders seeking to re-establish ties and also settle the many disagreements that presently exist. Analysts say that Beijing's engagements are an attempt to counter Washington's improvements in ties with countries around the world. At the same time, Beijing has an eye on its own foreign policy goals. The Belarusian leader, Alexander Lukashenko, is on a state visit to China at Xi Jinping's invitation. A long-time ally of the Russian President Vladimir Putin, Lukashenko allowed his country to be used as a launch pad for a part of Moscow's invasion into Ukraine. Now, Kiev has expressed concerns that Belarus could in fact again support Moscow in its war efforts, with weapons, soldiers and even specialized equipment. Russia and Belarus have beefed up their joint military grouping, and French President Emmanuel Macron has said that he will be visiting China in the month of April. He is, of course, seeking Xi Jinping's help to end the Russia-Ukraine war. Now, Emmanuel Macron has welcomed China's peace efforts. However, the French president has said that peace is only possible if Russia were to withdraw its troops and respect the territorial sovereignty of Ukraine. And it isn't just the French president who will be visiting China in the days to come. The European Commission chief Ursula von der Leyen and also the European Council president Charles Michel could also visit China sometime pretty soon. Now, as per China's ambassador to the European Union, preparations for the visit by the two top officials of the EU are presently underway as we speak. The envoy Fu Kong has said that frequent high-level mutual visits between the EU and China are expected to begin pretty soon. Now, EU diplomats have also criticized China's refusal to describe the Russia-Ukraine conflict as a clear case of an invasion. Beijing has also refused to call for a Russian withdrawal from Ukrainian territory. Now, as per the Chinese government, EU's anger with Beijing over Ukraine is simply just irrational. Now, China says that it does not want the issue to affect the development of ties with the bloc, and Beijing's approach towards the Ukraine war has centered around avoiding any kind of direct criticism of Russia, which is what the United States has been asking all the other nations around the world to do. Now, China has managed to project the US as a strategic rival. This is something that the Americans have been talking about a policy of containing China for more than a decade now. Last week, China had helped scuttle a joint statement that sought to condemn the war at a G20 gathering in India. Now, despite the United States and its allies' continuous efforts to try and bolster the Ukrainians, at this point of time there is simply no sign of a possible end to this conflict in Ukraine. The Russia-Ukraine war seems destined to enter an even more complicated phase in the months ahead. China recently published a 12-point position paper that in fact called for urgent peace talks and also a political settlement to end the Russia-Ukraine conflict. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has also expressed hopes to meet with the Chinese President Xi Jinping, calling it important for world security. China's economy has been battered by the now abandoned zero-COVID policy. The nation is being neglected by foreign investors who see a return of state intervention in the market.
I think if she really makes her